How many of you guys have watched business videos, startup business videos, $10,000 in a month, $1 million business in an hour video? All of these videos about how to create a business, create a $10,000 a month business, which is not a great goal, but hey, or $1 million business, how to create $1 million a year business. I started this guy $1 million business in 58-minute kind of videos. And how many of you guys have actually gained something from that? How many of you have actually been able to use, any of the information that you've gotten from those videos? I know me personally, I don't think that I've gained anything. I own businesses already. I don't really need help starting them. My problem is more time, but that's a different story. The reason that I watch these videos, though, is because I don't know a lot of people in my personal life that own businesses. I know a couple, but I don't know a whole lot of people that own businesses. And I like to hear, I would like to hear information from other people that have successful businesses that have started, at kind of a ground level and built something. That's what I did. I started with nothing and built something with it. And I'd like to hear other stories like that, or hear from people that have experiences in that, and especially getting into the businesses that they've scaled and that they've created, multi-million dollar, $10 million businesses, $100 million businesses, starting at scratch, starting with nothing. My problem, though, is that I don't really find that. I don't find that on YouTube with hardly any of the content creators in the space pertaining to business development, business creation, financial independence, financial well-being. All of it is absolute garbage. Maybe not all of it, but man, so much of it is absolute garbage. And the fact of the matter is that they don't care. The reason that they're making these videos is because they want to sell you a self-help program at the end of it, and they want advertisers. And so they get views, and then they sell advertising, and they make money on it, and then they sell their products. You think that I'm going to watch an hour-long video, and then at the end of it, buy your self-help program, and I didn't enjoy the video or get anything out of it to begin with? If you look at a lot of these guys' history, their history isn't great, especially the way that they got started. One of the biggest content creators in this area in YouTube, this topic, this category of YouTube, was a male stripper that got into gym stuff and then started selling struggling gym owners that were desperate to continue on with their business, $50,000 a year programs. $50,000 a year is more than the average small gym owner in the United States makes. I think the national average is like $60-some thousand, but you have to understand that $60-some thousand is inflated terribly because of all of the large gyms out there. So whenever you're talking about small gyms, it's hard to get numbers, but I think that the number is, right about $40,000 a year is what an average gym owner makes. Owning a gym is more of a labor of love. That's more of a thing that you do because you're passionate about it. It's not really a good financial decision or idea. Unless you have some kind of niche that you're going to get into or something like that, or depending on your area. Obviously there are variables there, but just generally speaking, a gym isn't a great business to get into. And this guy's selling people $50,000 programs because he knows that they're desperate. He knows that they want this business, that they've struggled for it, they've saved for it, they've created something, and they want to continue on with it, even though it's not working. It's like he's selling these, he was selling these programs like in mass. He doesn't know the financial situation of that gym. He doesn't know if that guy's taken out, 3 loans on his house to keep that business going, and it's been hemorrhaging money for 4 years. Like, he doesn't know, but he doesn't care. He knew that he could get $49,000 for a program because the guys were desperate, because people were desperate. They were in a business that was failing. They owned a business that was failing, and whenever you put your heart and soul into something, and then it starts to not work out, you'll do whatever you can for it to work out. That's not a good way to do business. That's certainly not a good way to get your start, man. And then people like that, people that do those kind of things, they'll talk to their followers everybody just has this unlimited amount of free time because everybody screwed over a bunch of gym owners and made millions of dollars. Like, yeah, I mean, if I had millions of dollars because I screwed people over in unlimited free time, I could do some cool stuff, for sure. With millions of dollars of capital, just that I could do whatever with, and unlimited free time because I don't have to work because I screwed a bunch of people over. So, yeah, I mean, you could do a lot with that, man. If you work 5 days a week or 6 days, 7 days a week, your options are a little bit more limited, you know. And it's like these people don't understand that. They've completely lost touch with, I guess, with reality. You know, I really think that the business creation space in YouTube, on social media in general, I mean, it's not even just YouTube, content creation pertaining to business creation and financial well-being, financial independence, I think is extremely important. The best way that we can succeed and the best way that we can create a change. It's hard to create a change if in the world, I mean, if you want to change the world or if you want to change your community, it's really difficult to do that whenever you're barely getting by. The first step to any kind of change is going to have to start in your house, right? It's going to have to start with you. It's going to have to start with your financial position, your stability. So it's important. And I just don't see a lot of people putting out realistic content. I don't see a lot of people putting out realistic advice. I don't see a lot of people putting out anything that is relevant to the majority of people. It's like these guys forget that adults work and pay bills, and you know, we have responsibilities. I've worked for myself my entire life. I've never worked for anyone else in my adult life. I don't really have a whole lot of experience with that, but I do know that I've worked my ass off working for myself. I've worked more for myself than I would have if I was just at a 9-to-5 job. You know, I've done 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for months in a row. So, you know, trying to start a business working 5 days a week is difficult. You're limited. There's only a certain amount of things that you can do. If you work 7 days a week, there's really only one thing that you can do. I mean, and that is get out of 7 days a week, save up money, and you know, get out of 7 days a week. That's kind of just the way it is. Or quit the job and go for broke, I suppose. But I wouldn't really recommend that, especially if you have a family and they've grown accustomed to having lights and you know, food and stuff. I look at you kind of funny whenever the lights get turned off. So we have to take care of these responsibilities. But there are ways that we can start businesses, that you can start a business, even if you're working a full-time job, even if you're working 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. There's even a way, if you're working 7 days a week, you might not like it. And so I own a masonry company, and there's snow on the ground, as you can see. I own a couple antique stores, antique/resale shops, a roof repair company, and I'm launching a digital marketing company. But as of right now, you know, masonry is still my biggest thing, and with snow on the ground, I'm in Northeast Ohio. I have a little bit of free time on my hands. And so after watching a bunch of these people on YouTube, to be honest, I've gotten bored with it. I don't want to see another infomercial from a millionaire content creator that doesn't care about the content that he's creating or the people that he's promoting it to. I don't really want to watch it anymore. And so since I'm not really interested in watching content in this space anymore, I'm going to go ahead and make some. I'm going to create some, because why not? I don't know if anybody will ever see it. I don't really care. This is a really weird setting for a video like this. I'm in the woods in the snow, about to cook some soup, and yeah, but I do this all the time, and I figured I'd come down here and bring a camera this time. So also, hey, if I'm talking to a camera, I'm not talking to myself, so I'm not crazy, so that's good. What I'm getting at though is that I'm gonna do some videos. I'm not a multi-millionaire. I've also never made $1 million a year, so maybe I'm not the best person to listen to. I don't know, but I do know that I have, you know, a lot of experience in business, starting businesses, having them work out, having them not work out, and I've been able to have a pretty good life some of the time. Some of it was pretty rough, honestly. But, you know, right now I'm sitting on my property. I have 20 acres, just under 20 acres. I have a nice house. It's nothing fancy. It's not a multi-million-dollar house, but I like it. And I have a pond that's stocked, so I can fish anytime I want. Like, yeah, I have a good life. And I've been able to create that for myself. It's a very powerful thing to be able to create something like that for yourself. I know that, you know, I know that I did this. This is mine, and I built it. So I would like for other people to feel that too. I'd like for other people to get involved in business. I'd like for other people to network together. I mean, we should have a business networking group on YouTube. I don't know why that's not a thing. I don't know why businesses don't get together and promote one another. I mean, that used to be the way things were done. Giving Google tons of money for cost per click advertising, which is a terrible idea, by the way. You know how powerful just networking with other businesses is? It's pretty powerful. I'm kind of rambling on. I don't have a script for this. You know, I'm just in the woods talking, about to cook some soup. I don't have like a specific talking point or anything like that, but I guess how trashy the people are on YouTube creating business content is my talking point, and how terrible their advice and information is. And you have guys on YouTube that sit there with a straight face and tell you to stop buying coffee, stop buying things at the gas station, stop eating out, stop doing this, stop doing that. Just live in a tent in the park and save every dollar that you make. What they don't understand though is that if you make $4,000 a month, like that's the most that you can save. You can't save more than you make. And if you're only making $4,000 a month, or maybe a little less, or maybe a little more, whatever the case is, it's like, how long do you have to save $4,000 a month until you become financially independent? It's going to take a while. That's $48,000 a year if you save every single dollar. That's also not eating. That's not having a car. That's not buying gas. That's, you know, literally, that's spending nothing. So what are you going to do with that? I mean, it's ridiculous. I would rather live on $4,000 a month and live the way that I want to and at least be happy than try and save every dollar and think that it's magically going to turn into millions. And it's crazy that these people have a platform. It's crazy that they have a viewer base with the kind of stuff that they put out. You know, and this is, I'm kind of referring to a person in particular on YouTube, a very big person in this kind of area. Now I watched an interview with this guy. And he's talking about how he drove a car, I mean, I guess bragging or boasting about driving a car that was about to break down with a ton of miles, that didn't have a bumper, and he made $1 million that year. He's incompetent. That's absurd. You make $1 million in a year, and you're driving a car without a bumper 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15, I don't know how long ago he's referring to. You can buy a reliable car and spend $300 a month. So you have a wife, and you're driving her around in bad weather in a terrible car that's about to break down without a bumper, as opposed to spending $300 a month. That's absurd. It's even worse if you have kids. It's ridiculous. I mean, that's absolutely goofy. And it's probably, and honestly, it's probably a lie also, but, you know, I think it would be better if it's a lie, because if it's not a lie, he's incompetent. If it is a lie, he's dishonest. I don't know which is better. I guess if you're incompetent, you can learn. If you're dishonest, that's probably a character trait and it won't change. So, either way though. So, I'm going to make some videos about how to start a business in a real way. My experience is with small businesses, small local businesses. I don't have any experience building a multi-million-dollar international company that spans the entire globe. I don't know that. And to be honest, I don't want that. I don't want 500 employees. I don't want, that's not my goal. I don't know if yours is, if that's your goal, then, I mean, I hope that you do well. But yeah, I mean, that's not my goal. And I do have a lot of experience with small businesses. I've worked with small businesses. I own small businesses, local businesses. Everything that I've done for the most part has been successful. The only businesses that I've started that didn't work out because I didn't want to continue on with them. So I mean, I have pretty much a 100% success rate, I suppose, if you look at it like that. I've also started businesses that I wasn't crazy about and chose not to continue on with them. So, you know, I don't know if that's a failure then. I've also helped market small businesses. I've also helped people create small businesses locally. They're all doing pretty well too, and they're very happy with their decision. So I have a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of experience in the field, in the small business creation space. And I think that I can put out information that would be more relevant to most people than what these, multi-million dollar guys, basically telling you that creating $1 million business it takes them 50 minutes. So if you can't do it, I think that I can put out information that is more relevant to people, more relevant than these guys that are, putting out videos saying that they make $100 million or $1 million businesses in 50 minutes. And, that's kind of discouraging to somebody that's been trying to start a business or trying to figure it out for a little while. It's like, man, this guy does it in 50 minutes. Only he doesn't, He made a half-assed business idea in 58 minutes. It's the actual title of a video. I made this guy $1 million business in 58 minutes. I understand how algorithms work. I'm in marketing to a certain extent, so I understand algorithms, and it wasn't an actual business. It was an idea. The funny thing is, I can make you $1 million business in 30 seconds. You want to hear it? I guess I'm a real guru. So you just buy 10 airplanes with crop dusters. That's all you have to do, and then hire 10 pilots. Simple as that. And then advertise for crop dusting. There you go. It's $1 million business right there. It genuinely is too. It truly is $1 million business. But who the hell's out here buying 10 airplanes, man? I'm not buying 10 airplanes. You're not buying 10 airplanes. It's irrelevant. I could sit there and say that. Yeah, that's a fun thing to say, I guess, and it's true. It's not a lie. If you're out buying 10 airplanes, then yeah, you could do it. But if you're not in a position to buy 10 airplanes, it's not going to help you very much. It's useless information. It's a useless idea. So I'm going to do a video. The next video I'm going to do is going to be how to start a business if you work 5 days a week. It's not going to be a fluffy video. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be polished. It's not going to be a lie either, though. So I guess it has that going for it. There are ways that you can start a business if you work 5 days a week. A short way to tell you how to start a business if you work 5 days a week is to start small. And I'll get into that more in the video. I'm going to also do a video. The next video, the following video, will be how to start a business if you work 7 days a week. There's a way to start a business if you work 7 days a week. You're probably not going to like it. And it does have to do with that, driving a beat-up car maybe, or saving and squandering and sacrificing and things like that. And that's just the way that it is. If you work 7 days a week and you want to start a business and that is what you want to do, your options are pretty limited. Your options are limited, but they exist. My intention with this is just to help people out. The best feeling, one of the best feelings that I've ever had in life, I guess having a child is a pretty big one on the list. But a really, really good feeling, one of the best feelings that I've ever had in life, was buying my first house. My first house is the house that this property came with. My first house. And I waited a while. I waited till I was in a good position to do it. I was kind of responsible with it. I tried to do it right as best I could without any understanding of the situation, but I tried to do it right. So my first house is a $500,000 house that sits on 20 acres with a shop and a barn and 2 ponds. That's a very proud moment whenever you've worked for yourself and you've built that. You've built a business that is able to provide for you like that. Like I drive a 450 Limited with $20,000 in wheels and tires, which is kind of stupid, but it looks nice and I like it, and it's what I wanted and it's what I got. And I'm proud of it. It's whenever you build something, whenever you build a business and that business provides for you and your family and your friends, in that way, the feeling is that it's really cool sitting here in the woods. These are my woods. These are my trees, and I bought them with money from a business that I built from the ground up. With money from businesses that I built from the ground up, that started at nothing. And I want people to be able to feel that. That's a really cool thing.